ほっ。これはできていない。あ、こちらか。はいはいはいはいはい。で、なるほど。なるほど。これが流れているので、全面でビア。はい。はい。こちらはこうか。なるほど。できたできたできたできたできたできた。できたねできたねできたねできたね。こうか。ちっちゃい。こうかな。違うね。はい。鉄戻りますね。えーっと、OK です。ちょっとテストをしておりました。ゴールドウィーク中なんでね、手が空きそうなので、配信でもして遊べたらいいなって、ではやっていきますね。映ってるのかしらこれちゃんと。動けなくなっちゃった。はいはい。
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute. If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red but it came up black. If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately dropped food on it.
意外と設定難しいですね、ライブ。
And then later discovered
うわー、やめろ。
the original view. Starting over is harder than starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too much. Feel free to go
いい感じ。
I'll be here.
で、
Alright, thanks for coming with me on this trip.
ここが楽しい
I'll
ですね。
understand if you have to take a break at any
ハン
point.
とゲームはします。
Find a
カン
safe
カン
place
カン
to
カンカン
stop
と
and quit the game. Don't worry, I'll save your
小
progress
気味よく
always,
進ん
even
で
your
くれるんです
mistakes.
ね。
This game is a homage to a free game
いい。
that came out in
いいよ。
2002 titled Sexy
よくないよ、
Hiking.
いいよ。
The author of that game was Jazz,
よくね
a
え。
Czech designer who was known at the time as the father of B
あ
games.
のあたりが難しい
B
んです
games
よ
are
ね。
rough assemblages of found objects.
OK。
Designers slap them together very
はい、
quickly
はい、
and
はい
freely, and they're often
はい
too rough and
はい
unfriendly to gain
はい
much of a
はい
following.
はい
They're built more for the joy
惜
of
しいん
building
だ。
than as polished products. In a certain way, Sexy Hiking is the perfect embodiment of a B
なか
game.
なかやる
It's
じゃん。
built almost
起きた。
entirely out of found and recycled
Oi.
parts.
Oi.
And it's one of the most
Oi.
unusual and
Oi.
unfriendly
Oi.
games of its
Oi.
time.
素晴らしい。
In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer.
一応よく目標
That
み
act
たい
of
なのがあるん
climbing,
ですよね。
in the digital world or in real life,
やめろ
has certain essential properties that give the game its
え
flavor.
タイムアップタ
No
ッ
amount
ク
of forward progress
敵
is
だクソがよ
Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery, and the player is constantly
2分
unremittingly
20秒を
in danger of
目
falling
指して
or
やっ
losing
てるんですよ
everything.
ね。うわあもう
Anyway, when you start sexy hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the
落
game.
ち着きが足りませんね。
It might take you an hour to get over that tree, and a lot of people never got past it. You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach
惜しいん
and
だ
your strength, trying to find a way up and over. And there's a sense of
Yeah.
trick in that lack of compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can be completely confident in your ability to get through them once you have the correct method or the correct equipment or just by spending enough time.
は
In
い
that sense,
はい
every pixelated obstacle
Hey,
in sexy
hey.
hiking is real.
素晴らしい。
The obstacles in sexy hiking are enabling, and that makes the game uniquely frustrating.
もう落
But
ち
I'm
な
not
いよ。
sure Jazuo intended to make a frustrating game.
素晴らし
The frustration
Okay.
is just essential to the act of climbing, and it's authentic
Yeah.
to the process of building a game about climbing. A funny thing happened to me as I was building this
Hey.
game.
Hey.
I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be
い。
unreasonably
失
hard.
敗であってそれを
But I
作って
couldn't
くだ
bring
さい。
myself to make it easier.
日本語版がちょっと欲しいところありましたよね。
Was my fault as a
間違えちゃった
player rather than as a builder. Imaginary mountains build themselves from our efforts to climb them.
ちっ
And
ち
it's
ゃ
our repeated attempts to reach the summit that turns those mountains into something real.
ほいさん
When you're building a video game world, you're building with
待て
ideas.
は
And that can be like working
Hey.
with quick sets of
Hey.
it.
いは
You
い
mold your
Ah,
ideas
but I-
into a certain
I-
shape that can be played
Hey.
with. And in the process of playing with them, they begin to
Totally.
get harder and set until they are
Yes.
mutable, like rock. And at that point, you can't change the world
いや
without breaking it into pieces and starting
な
fresh.
かな
with
か
new
難所な
ideas.
んですよね。
For years now,
Yeah.
we've been predicting that games would soon
Hey.
be made out of prefabricated objects.
きれいきれいきれい
bought in a store and assembled in
待て待て待て
And for the most part, that hasn't
長
happened.
文が来てますね。これ長文が出ると大体
I don't mean they
4分
look
ほど
bad or that they're badly
から
made,
4
although
分
a lot of them are.
半ぐらいの
I mean they're trash
時
in the
間
way
が経
that
ってる
food
みたい
becomes
な
trash as soon as
感
you
じ
put
な
it
ん
in
で
the
すよ
sink.
ね。危ない
Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context. And once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage.
Okay.
In the context of
Destroy,
technology,
huh?
those moments pass by in seconds.
どこ行くねん
Over time, we've poured more and more refuse into this vast digital
宇
landscape
宙
that we call the
っ
internet.
て素敵で
It
す
now
よ
vastly
ね。
outnumbers and outweighs the things that are fresh and untainted and unused.
ここだ
When everything around us is cultural trash,
Okay.
trash becomes the new medium, the lingua franca of the
Sure.
digital age. And you can build culture out of trash, but only trash culture.
宇宙に行
B
くとめっ
games,
ちゃ金
B
壺が
movies, B music.
光り輝いて見えますね。
Maybe this is what digital
あれ
culture
テーマ変わんない
a monstrous mountain of trash, the
いつもなら
ash
ここでエンディングの
creativity's fountain.
テーマが流れ
A
るんですけど
landfill
ね。
with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand, infinite, and unsorted.
あれ流れてるあ、流れてますね。
3D models of breakfast, Gen X's fanfic novels, scan magazines,
手作りで失礼して
Shia LaBeouf, and stuff.
4分半あれこれ、ちゃんと映ってるんですかねちょっと失礼します。クソでかちょっと戻りまして。もうちょっとやってきますか。ちゃんと映せてるのか気になりつつ。OK。あ、でもなんかラグが出ちゃってるや。
There's no feeling more intense than
う
starting.
うわ
If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute.
ーうわいいジャンプ
If you won
た
some
ま
money
に
at
あ
the
れが出る
casino
と
and then put all
で
your
すね
winnings
こ
in
れ
red
惜しい
and
な
marked. If you got your best shirt dry cleaned
なんか重たいよ
and then immediately dropped food on it. If you won an argument with a friend
どうした
and then later
危
discovered
ない
that they just returned to their original view, starting over is harder than
え
starting.
PC が
If you're not
悲
ready
鳴を
for
上げ
that,
てる
Like if you've already had a bad
こんな
day,
辻
what
の
you're
ゲー
about
ム
to go through might be too much.
おいい
Feel free to go when
素晴らしい。よ
I'll be here.
いしょよいしょよいしょ。
Alright.
おいしいおいしいおいしい。
I'll understand if you have to take a break at any point. Just find a safe place to stop and quit the game.
な
Don't
かな
worry.
か2
I'll
分
save
半
your
っ
progress
ていうかもう
always.
3分超えたこともないんですよね。
This game is a homage to a
は
game
い
that came out in 2002 titled Sexy Hiking.
危ない
The author of that game was Jazuo, a
こ
mysterious
ういう
Czech
ことして
designer
たら絶対
who was known
届か
at the
ないん
time
ですよ
as the father of B games. In B games are rough assemblages of found objects.
ちなみに
Designers
最
slap
高
them
記
together
録
very
が
quickly and freely.
3分
And they're
20
often
秒
too
ですね。
rough and unfriendly to gain much of a
こ
following.
いつ
They're built more for the joy of building them than as
なんか
polished.
重たいからなんか操作しづらいです。
In a certain way, Sexy Hiking
こ
is
い
the
つさ
perfect
危ないやったもう
It's
こう
built
や
almost
もうや
entirely
もう
out
や
of
もう
found
や
recycled parts. And it's one of the most unusual and unfriendly games of its time.
くっそ
In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer. And that act of climbing,
最
in the
高記
digital
録
world
は
or in real life, has
失われました。
essential properties that give
まあ
the
結
game
構
its
落ちちゃっ
feel.
てたんで
No
って
amount
こ
of
とないみ
forward
たいなもん
progress
なん
is
ですけど、ちょっ
guaranteed.
と
Some
練習が
cliffs
てら
are too sheer,
練習
too
がてら
steep.
また登っ
And
て
the
きま
player
す
is
ね。
constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling.
解説とかできたらいいんですけどね。説明歌で
Anyway,
で
when
き
you
なそう。
start sexy hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the
あ、
game.
この辺重たっ。
It might take you an hour to get over
解
there.
像度上げたか
A
な。
lot of people never got past it.
こ
Pride
こ解
and
説し
poke
ま
at
す
it,
か。
exploring the limits of your reach and your strength.
左右左
Trying
右
to
左
find
右
a way
左
up
右
and
左。
over. And there's
な
a
んて言うんで
sense
しょ
of
う。
truth in that
扇
lack of
状
compromise.
上に向けた扇
Most
状に
obstacles in video game
振
worlds
り
are
回してる
fake.
と登れ
You
ますね。
can be completely confident in your ability to get through them.
あとちなみ
Once
に
you have the
設
key.
定なんですよね。ちょっとマウス感度最大にしてやってた方が、ではこちらになれた方が結構なんでしょう、ハンマー振り回せ
Correct
て
method or the
いい
correct
感じの
method
結果
just by
残せる
spending
と思いますよ。
In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in sexy hiking is real. The
なんか動
obstacles in
かしてる
sexy
から
hiking
めちゃ
are
くちゃ
limited,
重たいんですよね。
and that makes the game uniquely frustrating.
殺意が湧いてきた。
But I'm not sure Jazuo intended to do
Deh!
this in the game. The frustration is just essential to the act of
ちなみ
climbing,
にこ
and it's
こはですね、
authentic to the process of building a game
マ
about.
ウスを下に
A
や
funny
るよ
thing
うにす
happened
る
to
と
me as I was
高く
building
飛
this
べますね。
I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and
今
I'd build it,
こ
test
う
it,
いうわかりますか
and
ね。
it would usually turn out to be
縦に
amazingly
向けた
hard.
楕円形に回してました
But
よ。
I couldn't bring myself to make it easier. It already
こち
felt
ら
like
は
my
ですね、
inability to get past a new
一
obstacle
回
was my
今
fault
時計
as a
回り
player
でゆっ
rather
くり
than as
回
a
してます。
builder. Imaginary
時計
mountains
回
build
りも
themselves
ゆっ
from
くり
an
回
effortless
し
climb.
て、回し終わ
And
っ
it's
た
our
後にす
repeated
ぐに
attempts to reach the summit
反時計
that
回りの
turns
動
those
き、
mountains into something real.
時計回り、反時計回り、反時
When
計
you're
回り、時
building
計
a
回り、
video
時計回
game
りみたい
world,
な
you're building with
を
ideas. And that can be like
綺
working
麗
with
に
preset
決めます
scripts.
と、
You mold your ideas into a certain shape.
嘘、時計回りじゃないですね。
And in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set.
時計回り、反
until
時
they're
計回り、
unique,
あ、
like
も
rock.
う
And at that
時
point,
計がどっ
you
ちに回ってるか
change
わからなくなっちゃっ
it,
た。
not without breaking it into pieces and starting fresh with new ideas. For years now, people have been
こんな。
predicting that games would soon be made out of prefabricated
あ、
objects,
ちょっと
bought
マ
in
ウ
a
スが
store and assembled into a world.
早くいけるん
For
で
the
すけど
most
ね。
part, that
敵
hasn't
う
happened
まくいくとか。
because the objects in the stores are trash.
おい、
I don't mean
ち
they
ょっと
look
今返事
bad
が見
or
ま
they're
したよ。
badly made, although a lot of them are.
できるといいですね。
I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as
こ
you
うな
put it
ん
in
で
the
すけ
sink.
ど、ちょっ
Things
と
are
だ
made
け
to be
反動という
consumed
か、
and used in a
反動です
certain
か。
context.
つけ
And
て、
once the moment is gone, they
ビヨン
transform into garbage.
で飛べますな。
In the
はい。
context of technology, those moments
こ
pass
こは
by
ま
in
あ、
seconds.
僕もわかりません、ここ。あ、惜しいんだ。
Over time, we've poured more and more refuse into this vast digital landfill that
真
we call
下
the
にちょっとやってる感じですか
They're
ね。
now
この
vastly
左上の暖房ですかね。ここ。ちょっと惜しい。
When everything around us is
右、
casual,
左じゃない
trash、becomes
下
the
か。
new medium,
あ、危ない
the lingua franca of the digital age.
話しながらできん、このゲーム。
But only
ああ、
trash
オッ
culture.
ケーオッケーオッケ
B games, B movies, B
ー。あっち、
music.
ここのやつ教えますか。
Maybe this
下
is
に
what
はめ
digital
まして、
culture is. A monstrous mountain of
この
creativity's
は引っ掛けたやつを下ですかね。
everything we ever
下じゃない。いや、下かも。
grand, infinite, and unsorted.
下にしてあげてるのか。
There's 3D models of
下
breakfast,
上みたいな。
Gen X's fanfic novels, scan magazines, green screen Shia
下
LaBeouf,
上
and
引
stuff
っ
scenes
掛け
from
右
live
左右左右
Facebook's
左
got
みたいな
lifelike
感
bots
じで
and
飲みます。
unbranded adverts
で
and
す
candid
ね。
shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups,
うわーもうこのゲームも
chips,
嫌
Russian
だ。
dashcam vids,
クソだよ。
discussions of McRibs, discard
ちょっと精神を安定させるために初めからでさせていただきます。よし、リフレッシュ。4個。4個。はい。惜しい。
There's no feeling more intense than starting
が重くなって。で、とか、ナレーション君の声も、小田小さかったでしたっけ？中盤に何つけて大きくなってるんですかね。あ、危ないよ。ました。危ないよ。ました。
If you want an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they just returned to their original view, starting over is harder than starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too much. Feel free to go away and come back. I'll be here. Alright, thanks for coming with me on this trip. I'll understand if you have to take a break at any point. Just find a safe place to stop and quit the game. Don't worry, I'll save your progress, always, even mistakes. This game is a homage to a free game that came out in 2002 titled Sexy Hiking. The author of that game was Jazor, a mysterious Czech designer who was known at the time as the father of the B games are rough assemblages of found objects. Designers slap them together very quickly and freely. Too rough.
頭おかしくなりそう。
They're built more for
頭おかしくなりそう。
than as polished products. In a certain way, Sexy Hiking is the perfect embodiment of a big game. It's built almost entirely out of found and recycled parts, and it's one of the most unusual and unfriendly games of its time. In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer. And that act of climbing, in the digital world or in real life, has the essential properties that give the game its flavor. No amount of forward progress is guaranteed.
未だにここ安定しないんですよね。
And the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling
こうでもない。
and losing everything. Anyway, when you start Sexy Hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the
物理法則がわからない
It might
光
take you
景
an hour to get over that tree. A lot of people never got past it.
はい。
Prod and you poke at it,
回して
exploring the limits of your
回し
reach
て
and your strength,
回して
trying to find a way up and over.
まずい
And there's a sense of
まずい
truth in
まずい
that lack of confidence. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake.
右
You
から
can
行っ
be
てみますか
completely confident in your ability to get through them
こら
once
し
you
て
have the correct method
よいしょ
or the correct equipment or just by spending enough time.
この
In
ル
that
ープ
sense,
の方が実は
every
好きだ
pixelated
好き
obstacle in
とい
Sexy
うか
Hiking
好
is
きですね好きなんですねピヨンピヨンして
The obstacles in Sexy Hiking are unyielding, and that makes the game
あらあら
frustrating.
あらあらあら
But I'm not
あら
sure Jazro intended to make it
だ
frustrating.
あらあら
Frustration
楽
is
しいんだこ
essential
れ
to the act of climbing, and it's authentic to the process of building a game about climbing.
またこ
A
こ
funny
だよ
thing happened to me as I was
ほい
building this map.
やめてよし
I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out
あ
to
の
be
未完地帯ってやっ
unreasonably hard.
ぱり
But I couldn't bring myself
ダ
to
メ
do
ですね
it. It already felt like my
一番
inability
精
to
神
get
持っ
past
てかれる
was my fault as a player rather than as a builder. Imaginary mountains build themselves from our efforts to climb them, and it's our repeated
親の
attempts to
顔より
reach the
実は
summit
こう綺麗
that
で
turns
した
those
うわ
mountains
ー
into
そう
something real. When you're building a video game world, you're building with ideas, and that can
黄
be like
色の
working
壺が
with
泣いてるぞお
pixels.
前
You mold your ideas into a certain shape that can be played with, and in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable like rock. And at that point, you can't change the world,
お
not
うわ
without
惜しいんだ
breaking it into pieces and starting
わ
fresh
し
with
た
new ideas.
のした
For years now, people have been predicting that games would soon be made out of prefabricated objects,
いえ
bought in a store and assembled into a world. And for the most part, that hasn't
じゃ
happened.
あ回して、
Because the
あ、
objects in the stores are trash.
回すとダメだこれ。
I don't mean they look bad or that they're badly made, although a lot of them are.
ここだ。
I
よ
mean
っしゃ、
they're
危
trash
ねえ、
in
マ
the
ジ
way。 that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are meant
あ
to
と
be consumed in a
一
certain
回よっしゃ、
And
本
once the
日の
moment's
配信を
gone,
終えるかもしれません。
In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
精神が持ちませんね、これ。
Over time, we've poured more and more refuse
20
into this
分か。
vast digital landfill that we call the internet. It now vastly
はい。
outnumbers and outweighs the
違
cost
うんだ。
of fresh
はい。
and
違
untainted
うんだ。
used. When everything around us is
惜
culturally
しい惜しい。
trash, trash becomes the new medium, the lingua franca of the
惜しい。
You can build culture out of trash, but only trash culture.
惜しい。
B games, B movies, B music,
かけて。
B philosophy.
はい。はい。
Maybe this is what digital culture is.
はい。
A monstrous mountain of trash, the
はい。
ash heap of creativity's fountain. A
大きく
landfill
回して、
with everything we ever thought of in it.
大きく回して、
Grand,
大きく回して、
infinite,
引っ
and
掛けて、
unsolved.
OK。
There's
ショ
3D
ー
models
ジャ
of
ンプ、
breakfast,
引
Gen
っ掛
X's
けて、
fanfic novels,
そし
scan
て落ち着いて、
magazines, green
落ち
screen
着
Shia
かずに
LaBeouf,
落
banned
ち
stuff
着いて、
scenes on
落ち
LiveFeed.
着いて、引っ掛けて、
Facebook's
ジャ
got
ンプし
lifelike
て、
bots with unbranded adverts and
ジャン
candid
プし
shots
て、
of
引っ掛け
Kanye
て、
and
ジャン
Taylor
プし
Swift
て、
mashups, car crash
引っ掛
epic
けて、
failed GIFs, Russian dashcam vids, discussions of McRibs, discarded,
あ
forgotten,
あ、
unrecycled, muddled,
恐ろしい話をして
rotten,
る気がする。字
untitled.
幕の方が。はい。
Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds.
この
Until
全て
something
がお
new
よそ
appears,
6秒間
and
新
you
鮮
hit
さを保
refresh.
つって
And
結
there's
構
years
名
of
言だと思う。
persevering, disappearing into the pile, out of style,
すぐ
out
に
of
流さ
sight.
れちゃいますよね。ああ、もうバカ。
In
も
this
う俺か
context,
も。
it's tempting to make friendly content that's
苦
gentle,
手なんです
that
よね。
lets you churn through it but not earn it.
淡
Why
々
make
と
something demanding
いけ
if
れば
it
いいんで
just
すけ
gets
ど。
piled up in the landfill,
うわ
filed
ー
in with the bland things?
おい。
When games were new,
Wait.
they wanted a lot from you.
Yes.
Daunting you, taunting you, resetting and delaying you. Players played stoically.
きれいき
Now
れい。
everyone's turned off by that.
引っ
They
掛け
want
だ。
to burn
引っ
through
掛け
it
てない。
quickly.
引っ掛
A
け
quick
てない。
fix for the fickle, some tricks for the clicks of the feckless. But that's not you, you're an acrobat.
登場したら
Or
満
a
足しそう。
baseball bat.
ああ、
Now I know,
Ucho.
most likely you're watching
Very
this
nice.
on YouTube
Ucho.
or Twitch, while some dude with 10
Yaba.
million views does it for you. Like a
Yaba,
baby
始めた。
bird being fed chewed up food. That's culture too.
来た。来てない。危ね
But on the
Maybe
off chance
not
that you're
that
playing this, what I'm
Ah.
saying is, trash is disposable, but maybe it doesn't
Cho.
have to be a
え。
project.
登れなくなっちゃった。
What's the feeling like? Are you stressed? I
惜
guess
しいん
you
だ。
don't hate it if you got this far. Feeling frustrated. It's underrated. An orange is sweet, juicy fruit.
ミカの話してるよ、
with
この人。
bitter peel. That's not how I
いつ
feel
通っ
about
た
a
の？オ
challenge.
ッケ
I
ー。
only want the bitterness.
ナイスミカ。
Coffee.
ミカの話してくれたおかげで登れました。ありがとう、オペレーション。違う、ナレーションの人。
It feels like we're closer now. Composer and
Wait.
climber, designer and user. You could have refused, but you didn't. There was something in you
登
that
頂近いよ、登頂近いよ。
chose to continue.
はい。はい。
It means a lot to me that you've
無
come
事
this
登
far,
頂。
endured this much.
ああ、
Every
結
wise
構時間かかっちゃい
every
ましたね。
insensitivity. Every setback you've forgiven me is a kingly gift.
まあまあまあまあまあまあまあ。
We have the same taste.
ここでこうなっちゃうとめっちゃ時
It's
間
not
取られちゃうんですよね。
ambition. It's ambition's opposite.
ダメだ
An obdurate mission to taste defeat. You'll feel
よ
better
ー
if you
し。
win, so I put this snake in for you.
出しました。
Have you thought about who you are in this? Are you the man in the pot, Diogenes? Are you his hand? Are you the top of his hammer? I think
時間
not.
かかっちゃいます
Where your
ね。
hand moves, the hammer may not follow,
よいしょ。
nor the man.
5分半。8分8秒。ちなみに配信画面の方はどうなってるんですか？ああ、そうなってるんですね。これ、フルスクリーンでやった方がいいのかしら。ちょっとお待ちください。画面キャプチでっけ。違うよ。違うよ。ゲームキャプチャーか。これをちっちゃくして、やばい。フリー画像のアーク溶断の画像が見つかっちゃう。こうか。 で、こうするとちっちゃくなっちゃうから、こうか。これで映ってますかね。OK。とりあえずここら辺で置いとかせていただきますかね。時間にして24分。見てくださった方々ありがとうございます。また配信しそうなので、見ててくれよな。じゃあ。